Now let's continue to shape our car with an emphasis on working on our crease lines that we have going along the sort of the length of the car. So here, let's go ahead and just start to do some general shaping, and also we'll concentrate on these lines that we've set out for ourselves. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take some of these points down here and just push them underneath the car just a little bit. So we'll create kind of this more of a contour going in underneath here. And we'll take these and kind of do something similar. And I can pull this down a bit. And remembering that this is one of our lines here, going up and over the wheel there. And let's go ahead and take these and move these back in as well. Just kind of contouring that car at this point, getting a nice shape going before we get too far along here. So I'll go ahead and pull this back. All right, so let's go ahead and add a line right in here, and because I'm going to put a little bit of a kind of a detail right in here. So we'll go ahead and add a line right there, and then let's take these 2 points right here and let's pull them kind of straight up. And now get a little hiccup right here, so we'll bring these lines here, and they'll come up here, and now they'll continue from here down to the front. So we need to go ahead and smooth those out. So from our side view, we'll go ahead and take that, and now those lines, we want a nice kind of curved line up to that point. And at this point, this is kind of where our canopy will transition into into sort of the front end part of the car in there, if that makes sense. Okay. All right, so now there's one more line that we want to add that we don't have on here yet, and that's a line that's kind of going across the top of the canopy here. And what we want that to do is we want to kind of come off kind of from right here and extend up across the canopy like this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and continue I'm going to shape this real quickly, and we'll use this to build that off. So this point is where that extra piece is going to start. So let's go ahead and take this piece and let's just do a quick extrude, and let's just scale that in a little bit. Go ahead and select the faces, and let's delete these interior faces. Okay, now let's go ahead and add an edge loop right along here, and I want to stop it at this point, so I can either draw this in just like this, which in this case is probably just as quick, and end that up right there. Go ahead and delete that. Now for this curve, or this line, I'm going to go back to the side view and just refine that a little bit more. Now this one I want to come down and kind of meet up with this belt line curve here. So right over here is where I want that to meet up. And so I want to shape this from the side and also from the top. So we can come here from the side and just shape that a little bit. So you can see where that line comes up across here and meets up back over here. And I can actually snap that down to that line and go ahead and merge those together. Again, from the top, bring those out, widen that out a bit, and also right out here, so that we get a nice curve from all directions. Bring that out and just make that a nice smooth curve, basically, into this transition area right in here. Okay, and we can delete this edge right in here. And so this is where the canopy is going to start, and then this piece will be sort of a separate piece. And now as this line comes up in here, it's going to kind of move in and then taper out and then taper it back into a point. Okay, this shoulder line right here will come in fairly close, but in here we want it to kind of be pushed down so that we have this area where we're going to be pulling these wings out from the front. So we want it to kind of come down, and then eventually it'll come back up, and again kind of taper in to match up in here. But we do want a change of direction here, so I'll go ahead and pull these down, and we can pull this line up a little bit. We've still got mainly just the lines that we have. We haven't really added too many longitudinal lines here from front to back that aren't serving as our crease lines. Okay, so that's just something to think about. So we're trying to maintain our control over this thing so it doesn't get out of hand, and we're trying to be able to really tweak the lines that we have here, so we can kind of smooth some of these out. So just look at from your different views. We're going from top view, from side view, from the front, and just make sure that they're a smooth, it's just kind of a smooth line. If you're moving your line along the surface, you can also, if you open up your move settings, you can also set that to normal, and that will actually move the point kind of along the surface a little bit more instead of just using like a world axis or something like that. So that's going to be useful for you as well. Now on the engine, I want to shape this a little bit more, so I'm going to go ahead and add kind of a line right across here, and I'll just use the insert edge loop. Okay, and then I'll take these points on the top and kind of move those in. We'll go back to our world move setting and just kind of move those in so that we now have this this sort of line back here on the engine. Okay, and it gives us that nice little facet sort of look there that we can take advantage of. Now, when we're building our engine, all right, and let's go ahead and move some of these points underneath the car a little bit more, and under here as well, and just kind of shape this out. So refine that shape a little bit. I'm going to pull this in. Now one thing I might want to do here, I can add some extra resolution. So what I can do is go ahead and add this edge loop. And you can see if I add this right now, it goes along the whole line of the car. If I delete this edge right here, I can go ahead and add that where I want it, and then I just have this one line to connect back up like that. But you can see now I've got an end gun, so I need to add a line over here. Now in some cases you want to do the opposite because you want to eliminate some resolution, and then you go ahead and just draw that over to the corner. But in this case, I want to start to slowly bring in a little bit more resolution, keeping in mind that as I do that, I need to kind of worry about the shape. Now, as this is going to be a straight line, I don't really need to worry about that. But from the top, I do need to kind of smooth this out a bit, because if we go ahead and preview this, which I don't think we've talked about yet, in Maya 2008, you have the ability to go ahead and look at a smooth preview, which is really, really useful. I found that very handy. And you just hit the 3 key, and then it'll kind of smooth it out. It's not a subdivision surface. It's kind of a preview of what it would look like if you applied a polygon smooth with particular settings. So if I just hit 3, it's going to smooth that out. And you can see that it's kind of got a flat spot there. So I just hit the 1 key to go back, and I can take these points, and since I added that resolution, I now just need to kind of even those out, smooth them out a little bit. So, because we want more of a circular shape. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle, but just something a little bit more. We don't want that flat spot in there, basically. Okay, and again, you can also hit 2, and that'll give you your smooth preview with your cage on the outside of it. And that's just a preview. If you render this at this point, it would just render as your faceted, low resolution model. You wouldn't get any of that smoothness in there. So it's just for preview purposes. And then if you want to go ahead and convert that, you can always go to Modify, Convert, and convert the Smooth Mesh Preview to polygons, which is something that we'll take advantage of as we go along. Right now you can see we don't have any sort of detail to hold any of the edges, but we're just starting to get our edge flow working in here. Okay, we've got a triangle right here. If we want to leave that, it's probably fine, but in our case, I'm going to go ahead and add an edge loop right in here and pull this up a bit and just kind of refine that. We want to maintain that edge, that line right there. So we'll be playing around with the topology quite a bit as we go along because, like I said, this is a kind of a balancing act between getting these smooth curves on these panels where we want them and also being able to maintain those sharp lines. So on the shoulder line and the bone line, the character line here, we want to maintain the sharpness on those while maintaining also the smoothness in other areas. So again, like I said, it's going to be kind of going back and forth, and so we'll look at some ways to do that. In the next lesson, let's go ahead and continue to refine our lines while we have at such a low resolution, and we'll do that up here on the grill because we have some areas that we want to refine up here with the coming down to a point, and we want these lines to kind of flow in and out of each other, and also we want an area for our headlight. We want a crease that kind of runs up here. So let's take a look at some ways that we can start to build in some geometry and add some resolution in here in some different ways. So we'll go ahead and look at that in the next lesson.